For the inevitable. It's been a disaster. It has to end. He says it has to end quickly as well. Jamie, I know you agree with that.
Yeah, look, I feel like a broken record, and Jamie's right. It really is a disaster. It's been a complete nightmare for Man United, and ever since he's come in, I've not seen any type of improvement. And you could argue last season it wasn't his team, and he come in and he didn't really want the job until this season. But I cannot believe how bad they've been and how stubborn he has been as a manager. Like, I get it. At Sporting, he done really well. He played a system. He had the players that worked. But, you come into Man United, you come into the Premier League, it is a completely different ball game. And I just think he's out of his depth. He is out of his depth. It was too big of a step for him. It's too big of a job. And he's crumbled. And, when I watch him, the formation, I just don't get it. He hasn't got it for that. The players, the midfield, he got no legs. You're trying to play Bruno in there, it don't work. But just the way he is as a manager as well is so emotional. He can't watch penalties. He sits in the dugout, he hides. He stands on the side of the pitch, and I'm not convinced that he really knows what he's doing. It's been such a poor appointment for Man United. And the quicker they get rid of him, the quicker they're going to get better. Because I don't actually believe that Man United are that bad. I think they've got some good players. But the formation they're playing does not suit any of the players that want to play in that formation.
Our poll today on the Sky Sports News X page is, should Amorim get more time at Manchester United? And 67% are saying no, he shouldn't get more time, with 33% saying yes, he does need more time, as you can see there. But last night, Duncan Ferguson, it was only joking when he said that anyone saying yes to that question is probably a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That was obviously a joke, but are you... There's more saying no than we did this poll last week, but they've just beaten Chelsea this time. They've just lost against Brentford.
Yeah.
But we've done polls like this with other managers where the no percentage has been much higher than that. So Amorim does have some backing. Well, he's got a third.
Yeah, but look, I think there's Man United fans out there who are sick and tired of seeing, the change of managers, and it's just a rotation of, the same old thing. Players come in and they're not good.
It's excuse for the manager, though. There's always an excuse. Yes, he didn't want the job immediately. He wanted to take to the summer. It's the people above him who are the problem.
Yeah.
The recruitment's been poor. We don't know how much part of that he's had. Are they excuses or genuine reasons?
I think there's genuine reasons in certain things, like player recruitment, the players there, the mentality at Manchester United. I don't think it's just Ruben Amorim's problem. I think there is a culture at Man United which has rotted that football club from the inside, and they cannot get rid of it. No matter who they bring in, they are struggling.
What if it's someone who's been in it when the culture's been good? Like... I said Carrick before. The people who've been there, all right? People who've been there who understand how the culture was, they'll understand how the culture
no, but you can't keep living
even if it's not as manager.
No, I know.
Can you get them in there?
Oh, 100%. Michael Carrick, Kieran McKenna, he come through. Roy Keane. I mean, I'm amazed that no one has phoned Roy Keane and said, can you come in at Man United and be part of what we're doing here? Because he is... arguably Man United's greatest captain. He is a leader. He's unbelievable. When you watch him, he's ferocious. You listen to him when he walks into a dressing room. You're gonna listen. He's gonna lead by example. He's not gonna allow poor standards. I cannot believe that Manchester United have not phoned Roy Keane and said, maybe he can't be the manager, right? Maybe because he's maybe too hot-headed. I don't know, but they want someone in with maybe a bit more tactical now, so whatever. How Roy Keane isn't in at that football club, in that dressing room, in there every day, in the training ground, telling them this is the standard, this is what's Man United, this is what we've built, this is how we do it. I cannot believe they've not done something like that. You're getting all these weak managers, all these weak mentality people in there, and I look at it and go, Man United, this is Manchester United. You're getting beat by Brentford at the weekend, 3-1, and it's not even a surprise. I cannot believe how far they've fallen. I cannot believe how bad the standards have got. And people just accepting it, just accepting being bang average. It's Manchester United, the biggest club in the world, alongside Real Madrid, and they're terrible. Beyond terrible. Every time I watch them, I'm like, this can't continue. This cannot continue. What is going on? How is this allowed to happen? For me, they should be getting him. Roy, I'm sorry, I know he works for Sky and he's brilliant and I love him, but he needs to be at Man United. He needs to be in that dressing room saying this is the standard of this football club, and if you ain't going to be part of this standard, you're gone out the door. This is the mentality we're having from day one when I come in here. Ruben Amorim's come in and he's binned off Rashford, he's binned off Garnacho. I'm trying to change the culture. He can't even watch penalties. Don't tell me he can change the culture of a football club. He can't even watch them take penalties against Grimsby. He's not the guy.
Roy Keane's last few jobs have been as an assistant manager. When you say he couldn't be manager, he could come in that role, of course.
Premier League team since he was appointed. Manchester United rank 15th. They've picked up 1 point more than Tottenham, and they are level on points with the next worst, West Ham United, who have got an extra game which comes tonight. Then come Wolves. The other point to make is that Wolves have changed their manager, West Ham have changed their manager, Tottenham have changed their manager as well, and then a big gap to Fulham and Everton. So that's the context of his performance as Manchester United manager. And then you look how he's compared with other Manchester United managers since Sir Alex Ferguson was in charge. And many of these haven't been considered successful, but look at the start that he's made from those first 33 games. We almost need another screen to put him on. The margins are absolutely huge, which is why there is so much concern, it feels right now, amongst Manchester United supporters. And here's another one, and this is for even wider context. When you talk about other managers in Premier League history who've been given 33 games and having been appointed in existing Premier League clubs, there aren't actually that many. So we've taken out promoted managers. There aren't many who've performed like this. And at the bottom of that list is Steve Keane with Blackburn, 29 points. Roberto Martinez with Wigan. I think this is relevant as well. The clubs they've been in charge of. Dave Merrington at Southampton. Egil Olsen, the Norwegian. You'll remember at Wimbledon. Ozzy Ardiles didn't have a great start at Spurs either. I think, Duncan, you were involved.
I was involved in the 98, 99 one. To be fair, I think I got sold then. I got sold to Newcastle around about 1998, if I remember right.
So of those managers who've been appointed to existing Premier League clubs, he is one of the worst over this time period.
Yeah.
Do you think that the club is particularly relevant here?
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about Man United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Let's be fair, he's a lucky boy still to be in a job. I think he's got a bit of credit on what he did last year, coming to Man United when they were struggling a wee bit. So he came last year, he didn't really want to come last season. So I think they've given him a wee bit of credit in the bank there. But look, for a team like Man United to be, you see the stats there, the stats are for there to always see. So he's very lucky to stay in his job. But hopefully he gets another few games, you know what I mean? Because we always want the managers to stay in their jobs and be successful. But it's not good enough, is it?
Well, it's Sunderland next, and then it's the international break. Why do you think he is still in a job?
I think he's still in a job because I think the powers that be and Manchester United have made that many mistakes so far in decisions that they've made on and off the pitch that they almost don't want to admit right now that they've made another. And this has been a disaster for Manchester United, but also Ruben Amorim. What he did at Sporting Lisbon was fantastic. You know, he looked like the next big thing as a manager, but bringing a manager like that in terms of the system that he played, I don't think ever really suited the club or the traditions of Manchester United. And the quicker Manchester United make the decision on the manager, I think it's better for everybody, because, as I said, it's been a disaster for club, but also the manager. And we're only waiting for the inevitable, I think. Unfortunately, as Duncan's just said, you don't want to see people lose their jobs, but this has to end as quickly as possible.
Is that group of players better than it is looking?
I think so. I think they are. But I think maybe it's the system. You know, everybody talks about the system a lot, doesn't he? He's not changed the system at all. He's not trying to find a way. When you're losing games, you've got to find a way to win. You just can't keep on going with the same system all the time. So you need to try and find a way to win. And he's never done that. He's stuck to the same system. He needs to change it a little bit. Maybe going to a back four, go back more traditional Manchester United. But to be fair, when they recruited him to play this formation.
100%.
They knew what they were getting.
They knew what they were getting. They wanted that formation. They wanted that style of play, and they've got that.
I think you're right. I'm big on that. I mean, I've never been one of them saying he has to change his system. A lot of managers speak and say, I've got a certain the system might change, but my style doesn't. His baby is his system. It's like asking Jurgen Klopp not to press or Pep Guardiola not to play short passes through the middle of the pitch. This is what he is. That's on Barada or Jason Wilcox or Jim Ratcliffe. They brought him in. Talking about him changing centre-backs, a stat came out that he changed in his 49 games, 42 times he's changed the back three. He did that at Sporting Lisbon. You knew that when he came in, the powers that be. So that's the big problem there. But the problem, I think, when you look at Ruben Amorim, I think every other Premier League manager would look at Manchester United and think, I could do a better job than that. And the only positive for Manchester United is they haven't gone all in on his system. They've gone all in on him in terms of giving money to spend, but they haven't bought lots of centre-backs. They haven't brought lots of wing-backs. The players they bought in the summer can easily be flipped into a back four, getting Bruno Fernandes as the number 10, Brian Mbeumo right wing, maybe Cunha to the left, Sesko up front. And I think a competent football manager could get that Manchester United team in that system to the European places, or certainly fighting for them.